going to say something. It's too close.
Welcome to the Montana Volleyball press conference. We're joined by head coach Allison Lawrence today. Coach, obviously a huge win on Friday. You get the rivalry victory, bring the mainline trophy home, and you also have now officially punched your ticket to the Big Sky tournament. Just kind of the opening thoughts on a big rivalry win.
Yeah, it was a thrill of a game in just an outstanding atmosphere. And so I'm just so proud of our team's poise, and how well they maintain details when there's a lot of potential distractions in that fun of an environment. So I loved how consistent we were. I loved how kind of inward focused we were in terms of just teammate to teammate. We were really turning towards our own team for strength and consistency and energy. And I just loved it. It just felt like such a team win.
And now you come back home, an emotional win on Friday, an emotional week this week with senior week. So what can you kind of say about all four seniors, but in particular, Maddie and Alexis, who have been here for 4 years each?
Yeah, I think this senior class has really pushed the program toward greatness. And I think that's been a large part of the narrative during their time here, especially for Maddie and Lex, just of what they wanted to do. And I think they've pushed us closer than ever before. And greatness is something you never arrive at. And that was never our expectation. But how do we instill greatness in everything we do so that we're getting closer and closer every year to our potential, to, where we want this thing to be year after year. So I can't say enough about this group, just about their dedication day in and day out. And I think this particular group has a nice mix of leadership, some that's very outward and very kind of communication based, willing to say the hard things at the right times. But I think so much of it is led through big time connections that are both happening on the court in front of everybody and built off the court for, those two for 4 years, and all the details that they've hit away from the coaches and when the team is kind of doing their thing in the off season. And the two that came in, especially just being new, but taking that on in a really mature, really, I think, rare way for transfers. So yeah, couldn't be more proud.
Coach, when you look at the game on Friday, just getting them in 4 sets after the one here went 5 sets and was a little bit of a heartbreaker. Can you just speak to the team's mentality going in and how you guys were able to get it done faster, and kind of lock that one down?
Yeah, I think, we grew a lot between both matches. And I think both freshmen that see significant time, and I mean, Annika's in there as well. We have a lot of young players playing, but I think we had a tough time in the first round of Miley's position hitting at the percentage that was going to allow for some consistency. We're a little up and down in that role, and she was a little up and down. And then, I think Maddie Sanderson is in a big role. And gets picked on a lot in serve receive just because our serve receive is so solid between her, Delaney, and Lex. And so I think just by default, being the youngest and least experienced, she gets a lot of balls. And I think there were moments in our first MSU match where our serve receive kind of wavered up and down and was able to be shaken. And then I just think the growth between that match and this match, you just see Miley hitting really well, really consistent, especially as we get into sets 3 and 4, just kind of taking off from there. And then I think Sandy had just a remarkable game. It was fun. The serve receive was a huge piece of that, but then came up with some really dynamic digs late in the game, stealing some kills. And I think, when you see that happen in volleyball, you can see momentum run away with a team. And then that's what the 4th set felt like, is just any moment where there was a good swing or a good contact for MSU. I think plays like Maddie was making were kind of stealing those options and then kind of making it feel like we were controlling all parts of the point. So yeah, really proud of that growth in them and just our team's simplified focus. I think that was really apparent on Friday, whatever day it was.
When sitting in 4th place in the conference standings now, and Jackson mentioned, kind of senior week, and I think Eastern's the one team you haven't seen yet, I believe, right? Yeah. So it's your excitement just kind of for this week that can, kind of propel the team a little bit forward here as the conference tournament's kind of around the corner now at this point.
Yeah, it's nice to, have the benefit of the MSU match and feel momentum from that. I think any kind of win like that in an emotional rivalry kind of instills an even deeper level of passion and the passion that you play with the group. And so I love that momentum that's built off that match. And then I think this group is so connected that the extra emotions going into senior weekend will really, I think, put us in such a great mindset and such a reflective kind of, meaningful mindset where we want to get every second that we can. And I know our seniors have been playing with that mindset since day one. So I think to honor that and to see the whole team rally around them, I think will be really special.
We talked last week about Friday's match being a good test late in the season for the team.
Yeah.
What did you learn about them?
I think learned a lot of things, but I think the most apparent important one is just how fresh we still are. And I think, we have an incredible strength coach, Zach Rockford, I think has us like ready to go, and I'd never worry about our bodies breaking down. But to feel as fresh as we feel, not just in body, but in our mind's ability to hit details, to still want to grow and want to learn, where you can fall into that trap this time of year where you're just like, okay, we just got to maintain, or we just have to, not slide. I think those things are really impressive to me. And that was very apparent at MSU, that we're a team that wants to get as good as we can and grow as much as we can going into the tournament.
I think kind of two-part question. To be this late in the year and kind of be in the mix for those top seeds, like what does that mean kind of to you personally? And then do you see an advantage being in one spot or the other?
I think to me personally, it just means that our group has been loyal to itself, and not just this year. I think of Maddie and Lexi's 4 years. I think of Dana and I's 9 years. Oh my gosh. A lot of people have asked, like, what are you doing differently this year compared to this year, that year, whatever? Nothing. I think that's my favorite takeaway. And what this means to me is just that we have done things the same way this whole time. And I feel like that loyalty to how we do things, who we are, and what the ingredients for us are to be great, and to all of us love what we're doing, I think have been really consistent. And I'm so proud of that. I don't have any thoughts about, you asked about the seating. And I don't know yet. I feel like it's so up in the air that I haven't even let myself kind of think beyond, this weekend. And we have a tough road trip next weekend. So I think the ball of chaos that is our conference will only shake out in weird ways none of us can predict. So I'm just trying to wait.
When you're coming off a rivalry win and it's senior night and you're locked into the postseason, do you kind of have the message to your team to kind of ride the emotions of all that, or is it just kind of, hey, keep playing volleyball? What's your mentality with that?
I think we have a team that uses emotions well. So I want them to, I don't know, ride it. I think ride it implies that we'd be up and down with it, but I think we can use emotions to channel our details into a really great place. So I think we're very disciplined when our emotions are connected to our bigger picture. So I want us to use that. We've always had emotional senior nights and always played really well. So I don't think of that as distracting. I think of it as such a strength. So I'm excited to see that come out.
What's the best part of going into Bozeman and getting a win? What's your favorite part of that?
Ooh, I think seeing, the atmosphere there was really incredible. I mean, there were 5,000 people. It was so loud. The band was loud. And I just love in those environments seeing our team just turn toward each other. I think that was so commendable and what it should bring out of you. And I just love the opportunity to have them do that. And I love the rivalry for what it does for volleyball in our state. I think you're not seeing that kind of fan attendance without it really affecting how people are thinking about volleyball across the state. So I love those two things for two very different reasons. But I just love us, and that feeling is very much kind of the forefront for me when we go there.
because the conference is so unpredictable and chaotic, how important is it to just worry about yourself and not everything else that's going on around the conference?
Yeah, it's absolutely crucial because, our performances over the next, 4 matches could mean the difference between a top 2 potentially, depending how those top 2 spots are shaking out. And also the bottom third of the conference, really. I know we're in and we're clinching in the tournament, but still there's lots of movement that can be made. So I think that always feels a little bit stressful to think of it in those terms. We just want to put our best matches. I know we have our best matches in front of us. We just want to put our best foot forward in terms of, the day we're at right now. So let's practice well. Let's get into the game and let's problem solve together and not worry too much.
Well, obviously that's an emotional win over a rival, but also a really good team. So how do you build off just the confidence of winning against another really competitive team in the conference? Yeah,
I think, the lessons from that are if we hit our details from our scout and control the ball the way we did, Friday was such a testament to Delaney, Lex, Maddie, Sandy again, Miley, our core passers that controlled the ball. We served and passed well. To me, if we can do that against any team in our conference, we're going to create opportunities to win sets and have swings for sets. So I think we've got to take some really big confidence from those things. Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, thank you.